Hey guys, just going to do a quick video on how to wire up one of these aftermarket eBay thermo controllers on your 12-volt car or camping fridge. This will work on your Waeco fridge or your cheaper alternative versions. This is an Ishtu, and there's Senko and all sorts of cheap versions. They run a Danfos style compressor. This one's a different compressor. I think it's a Chinese version, Cyclone or something. But either way, they generally have this same control board here. And you might have seen there's a few videos around about how to jump start these things. You've got your negative here and your positive. These two are positive and these two are negative. They're both pushed onto a single terminal there, so positive and negative. And if you basically power up these two wires, you'll run your compressor. Usually the fault that happens with these things is up in the control board, and that runs your thermo switch and stuff, and they always seem to fail, especially these cheap ones. And then you've got these two little wires here, red and black, up to the little fan there, and the fan just runs over that little heat sink for the fridge. But basically, you know, you've seen the videos maybe where you pull all those wires out that used to go back to that controller. You just leave your positive and your negatives in, and you jump these two. So the bottom one, and you skip one, and then you go to the next one. I think they're labelled, what is it, T and C, and you're skipping P. So you're jumping T and C there. And if you do that, you'll be able to jump start or hot start your compressor. But we're running one of these little controllers, so I'll just explain how this works. So this replaces the circuitry of the original fridge, circuitry of the fridge. Your first terminal on the far right, there's your negative feed. So you can see that wire, the white wire, just goes all the way back to the negative side of the plug. So negative comes in here at black, and it goes to these three: white, yellow and blue becomes black. Anyway, the white one goes all the way up to the far right, which is your constant negative on there. The yellow and green one goes to the fan, and the blue one, which becomes black, just runs directly to your negatives for your compressor. So that's pretty straightforward. They're just your negatives for those three things: compressor, fan, and your new little switch unit. And then your positive obviously comes through the plug here, around through the fuse, and then up. And your positive feeds these two in the middle. The one on the right is the positive feed for this circuitry, and the one on the left is a live positive for this relay. And then the next wire, the fourth wire there on the far left, is the positive feed from the relay, which switches on and off depending on what the temperature is set to. So depending on what this little temp sensor in the fridge there tells the relay to do, that tells this wire here to go on and off. And so obviously that's that one here, and that just runs straight to the compressor and off to the fan. So the way it works is you set your temperature that you'd like the fridge to stay at. This is the set button, and they're just up and down, and you set it to offset it to 4 degrees. So once it comes down to 4 degrees, you'll hear the compressor come on. The reason it's not on yet is because it needs to go up to about 6, I think, before it comes back on again. So it basically switches it off at 4 and then back on again at 6. So it's slowly working its way up to 6. Once it hits 6, you'll hear it go click and boom, and I might just open the lid and take that sensor out just to speed that process up a little bit. So that's our sensor there. So you'll see that now. I should quickly go up. There's the sensor on the bench there. And click. Bang. Away she goes. I'll just put it back in the fridge so that it can do something. Okay, so that's the sensor back in the fridge. And once it catches up, you should see the compressor will cool the fridge down, and that'll drop down to about 4 before it goes click and stops going. So it's as simple as that, guys. You can hear the fan buzzing away in there. You can hear the compressor going. You can put the finger on it, I can feel it. vibrating just slightly. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool little fix, I reckon. $5 roundabout, and you'll get these things running again. So yeah, hopefully that helps some people work out how to get that wiring all sorted. So you obviously, this little board here, if anyone's interested, was what they call the protection setting switch. So that was for your circuitry that protected the system from high or low voltage, and obviously that's now obsolete. So we're relying on this fuse to protect our circuitry now, and the fuse just needs to be obviously replaced if it blows. So what are we at now? Coming down about 5.8, 6 volts. We might just wait till it gets to 4 just so you can see how, you'll see that little bright LED there, that's an LED to indicate that power is being given to this wire and that the compressor and the fan are running. And when that drops to 4, you'll see that light go out and you should hear a little click. And then you'll hear the compressor and the fan should stop at about the same point. You can see it's dropping fairly well. 4.6, 4.5, 4.3. Click, and done. So there it is. Hopefully that helps, guys. Cheers, see ya.